crazy,
crazy,
we go crazy, we go crazy, we go crazy, we go crazy, we go crazy.
I be wigging out. I be wigging out.
Hey, this is Melody Surfer, the Cali Queen from the LB Alert. We are here making moves like you never seen. Turn up, we on the way to the party scene.
What's up, everybody? This is Melody with Wigginoutradio, where music and entertainment happens. Of course, I'm your host, Melody, the Cali Queen from the LBC, and I want to say, what's up to everybody? Happy Mother's Day weekend. Yes, in case you guys didn't know, I need to inform you, some that's still asleep. Mother's Day weekend actually started yesterday, okay? Let me tell you why I know it started yesterday. Because I got my first Mother's Day gift yesterday. Yeah, I got a cool $100. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Got me a little red rose. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And then it continued today, okay? So today, I was complaining because I wanted my car washed. Got that done. Got a little teddy bear, y'all, that says kiss. Yeah. If only y'all knew who that came from. And what else did I get so far? Yeah. So, you know, the grand finale, of course, is tomorrow. So I can't wait to see what my family got me. Because let me tell you, Mother's Day is really, really major in my family. Because we got too many women in my family, you know. And if we don't acknowledge each other for Mother's Day, you know, it kind of makes, you know, the ladies in my family, even if their children father are in their life or not in their life, it's just really important because we want everybody to feel included. You know, everybody don't have a significant other or baby daddy involved in in Mother's Day and stuff like that. So, excuse me. So it's important that we make everybody feel included. So yes, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but my daughter told me about the mall yesterday, y'all, and she said it was off the chain. So I'm trying to figure out whether I should give everybody a gift card, just give them some money or whatever. The only thing about money, you guys, is like, oh, okay, I got this $20 or $50. It's money, you know what I'm saying? You'll be grateful for the money, but you'll be more memorable if you get that person something. That's just my opinion, because I got certain people in my family who can get $20, $50, or $100. Forget whoever gave them that. They just happy they got some money, and they go spend it like whatever. And then when you come back and you ask them, what did you buy with that $100 I gave you? And then they'll go like this. They'll do this. I swear to God. They be like, it was you that gave me that $100. Yeah, it was me. Oh, girl, I went and got some gas, and then I went and got my feet done, and that was it. It was gone. Okay, remind me to buy you something next time. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you to remember me. But excuse me, you guys, I'm getting over a major cold. But you know, this year what I did was, it was a lady at the school that I was working with, and she do these hand cards, right? They're not like spectacular, but I just thought it was, you know, something different instead of going to the store and getting some regular Hallmark cards, you know. So I had each of the cards made in each of the women in my family name, you know. So each card is like personalized on the outside. So you got Mary, you got Dominique, you got Natalie, Chastity, Jalita, Natalie, and the list goes on. So that's what I did. The only thing I don't like, because all I'm going to do, it didn't have no words in the inside. So all I'm going to do is Happy Mother's Day, love auntie, love sis, love mom, 2024. You know what I mean? Because that's basically what I'm gonna either put a gift card in there. I thought about money, but I got some people that'll even lose a gift card and be like, girl, I don't know what I did with that gift card. And I'm bad about gift cards too. So unless it has something to do with food, if it has something to do with food, I'll probably remember that first above anything. So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Also, I don't know if any of you guys are having any tax issues, but let me just say, and I'm just going to speak on myself personally, because, so how we all filed our taxes like January, February, right? I filed my taxes in February. The government keeps sending me letters talking about we're reviewing your taxes, we're reviewing your taxes. Yesterday, I happened to be over my sister's house, and my sister said somewhere on social media, she saw that people are saying that the government stole our money. So I was like, they just being negative, whatever. And so how you go to the IRS, go to see where have your tax moved on to each level, and you get ready to get your refund. Why was mine still at the beginning? When it was still at the beginning, I was like, yeah, they done stole our money. For sure they done stole our money because I haven't got my taxes yet. And I'm upset. Like, how can you guys do that to people? You don't know what people's situation is. And low key, it do look like the government stole our money because why haven't you paid our money yet? It's not that much reviewing in the world. Either those people did right, and I know I did right, so I think I deserve my money. And why it's still on hold up, I don't know. But if anything, you guys, I think we deserve our money. Like, it's not fair. Like, don't keep our money like that. What is the problem? Like, people work hard. I'm gonna tell y'all what this makes me feel like. This makes me feel like I don't never wanna file my taxes because people said there's no such thing as the IRS. So excuse me, y'all. So if you go back down in history and you look how this IRS thing got started, supposedly there's not a such thing as IRS. So, what I mean? I don't know, but the government keeps snatching our money like this and not paying people. You never know what they gotta move. Sometimes it's how people get their cards. You just never know. And you're not giving these people money. People could be on the verge of being homeless. And by the grace of God, they get their taxes, get on their feet, and be able to carry the way through. Excuse me, y'all. I had this really bad cold this weekend. I was so under attack. So please, I am going to kind of cough in between because I'm still just getting over everything. But I do apologize. Um, so, this whole IRS, I'm telling you, they told me to give them 60 days, right? So this 60 days started in April 1st. We done passed through May. If I don't get my money on June 1st, I'm going to raise hell because why are you holding my money that long? And it ain't like it's like $800. It's some thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? And the IRS is holding my money. You don't know what my situation is. Give me my money. Period. So, what do you think about that? And this is Petrena Brown. She's the author of. You can,
Mystery Red, and
okay.
I have two more that's spoken word poetry as well.
Spoken word poetry.
Yes.
So before we get off into your books and all this, I love poetry. I write poetry myself. What do you think about do you know anybody that the IRS did that to?
No, this is the first time I'm hearing this whole story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
First time. I've been very busy, so I haven't really been on social media all week. And everybody that I know, either they have filed their taxes, got their money already, or they haven't filed yet. They're the last minute people that waits until September, October to do theirs.
Yeah. So. Well, yeah, that's what those people
But you know what? I just thought about it. They're holding my state. I got a letter saying something, and I was like, I don't understand it. I just took pictures of it and sent it to my tax lady.
Right.
Because I'm like, I don't read taxes. This is
right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, why they even holding people money is beyond me.
But you got to think about it like this. We about to get real deep. Is look how much money we're sending out to fund wars. Right. The money have to come from somewhere.
Yeah. So they took it from their own citizens.
Pretty much. That's basically it. It's like when we pay taxes, we're paying taxes. Our tax money is going where? Right. So right now we're funding 5, 6, 7 different wars. They need the money. Right. This person, that company, whoever is being sued, they need the money. Right. So they just, we could get them back later and just take the money off top now.
Yeah, so which sucks for the American people. Speaking about that, how do you feel about Donald Trump running in this year's election? What is your take on that?
Okay, so don't come for me, people. Don't come for me. I honestly kind of like Carrot Top. Let me explain. His business tactics, I love it. When he was in the office, jobs was booming. We were getting our money. He was not playing. He was, granted, he is racist and he is a womanizer, but compared to what we have now, and look at the economy, like if you look at how California is right now, how many stores is closing? Right. How many people are going to be out of businesses? Yeah. How many people are going to be out of jobs? How many people are, like you said, possibly be homeless? Right. We're about to hit a really serious, big problem in California alone. So with that being said, I would like somebody who knows what they're doing and not just funding war in different countries that ain't got nothing to do with us. Right. But like, when Donald Trump was in office, if there was a war, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Right. And how many times when he was in office, China was like, I'm going to push the button. And he said, push the button. Yeah. You're not going to intimidate me. Right. Like I would prefer that type of president versus the one who just, I'm going to care about other people, bringing other people in and not caring about home. Right.
In my opinion, and you guys, I don't know, you can come for me all you want to. Right. But I choose not to be a Democrat no more. And it's not because of what Donald Trump did for us. I mean, I applaud Donald Trump because he made the Republican look good. But I realized even back in Obama days that the Democrats are really not for the people. They're not. They say they are, but what do you think?
So I study history, right? And when it first started, the Democrats really weren't for us. It was the opposite way around. And as time go by, it switched. But before even Donald Trump got into office, please don't come for me, people. I'm gonna say this very bluntly. Obama wasn't even for us either.
Exactly.
Because there was a lot of laws, a lot of laws was passed under the table that nobody knew about. And so forth and so forth that he was allowing. Like for example, when they said like, oh, we don't have the rights to our internet, China have the rights. He gave that to them. And let's go back to when he was in office, a lot, like I said, a lot of things was passed. So now moving forward, like a lot of rights do not come for me. This is just my opinion. Right. For homosexuals, they have more rights than Black people. Okay. And that bill was passed during his time.
Wow. Okay.
So like now, if when a back like last year, sometime in the summertime, when it was the transsexuals were voicing being just out there, and women would speak up about it, and it's, oh, you're canceled, or oh, you're being homophobic, or you're being transphobic, and it's like, no, I'm an actual woman. I have a voice. And it wasn't like that a few years ago until that law was passed. And if you want to get like I said, I study history. With every single president, there's something that's being passed that's allowable. for like, with the Obama situation is the transgender community, the homophobe, the gay community. Bills passed to protect them, right? And now, don't come for me. With Biden, when Biden was slowly getting into office, a lot of now pedophiles have more rights than their victims.
Okay.
So we can't, every single, regardless of Democrat, Republican, they always pass something that's not for us. And it's like now we're reaping the consequences of it. Because, like, for example, if somebody who's a pedophile touches a kid, and depending on the state, is okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a no-go.
But again, bills and laws were passed under the table, and they use distractions to distract us from seeing it, from paying attention.
Right.
So that's my take.
So I feel you on that. I mean, we just got to do better. Like, I think as an American people, we just got to really know what we getting into. You know what I mean?
And not just go by, oh, it's a trend because everybody and their grandma is doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to give an example. Like when COVID was popular, when COVID was happening, right?
Right.
They were using every single tactic to get Black people to get the jab. Every single tactic. They were using Obama's face. They were using President Michelle. They were using everybody.
They even used money.
They was using money, free food. I've seen commercials where they were like, free weed if you get the jab, free burger. Like, you could already go get $1 burger and they offer you $1 burger to put chemicals inside your body.
Right.
Like, please stop it. Yeah. And so, like, they always use something as a ruse to get us.
Right.
And it was like, first it was music, it was TV, it was food, it was weed. And now that, when weed became legal in the state of California, it was around that time. So it was like, oh yeah, you get this amount of weed.
A free eighth.
A free eighth, right, for the jab. Like, seriously, we as a whole, we have to do our research.
Yes,
we have to read. We have to make up our own minds and not go by what they're telling us to do. Like, and that's how the 3% runs the world. Right,
absolutely.
Because they figure we're all sheeps.
Yeah. So. And we need to pay more attention because this, especially the older adult African Americans, y'all need to pay attention.
They are stuck in their ways.
Yeah. Well, that might be true, but we need to get out of our ways because we're the only ones that can teach the younger generation. If we don't pay attention, they're going to be like, oh, well, mom, dad, auntie, grandma said it's okay, so I'm just going to go this route. So we have to culturally understand this whole government system because, yes, they do a lot of stuff, and they always, once it's done, it's always a distraction. I'm so tired of hearing what this distraction is. No, we need to investigate and become more proactive, more alert, and just more educated.
Very true. I agree with you 100% wholeheartedly. I feel like once we start seeing everything and how certain designers is not for us, the government is not for us. We got to figure out how to be independent on our own.
Right.
We have to, get together and stop having that crabs in a barrel mentality and actually work together as a culture to help each other.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that's at the bottom because we have that, oh, I don't want you to do better than me. But it's like, if we come together and like do our own farming, get a plot and, like those tiny communities, we could thrive. We can really thrive if we're really for
But you know what? I think that goes back to the slave mentality theory because, back then the plantation owners, they separate us. And we are past that now. We are past that. We're still in that slave mentality mentally.
Because we're programmed and it's passed down from generation to generation to generation with the whole skin color thing. Oh, the lighter ones get to stay inside, while the dark ones stay outside. And in our mentality,
so they created separation. That's
separation
where,
and colorism at the same time, and it now trickled down from your mom's generation to your generation to now my generation. Now it goes on and on.
Yeah, but when are we gonna wake up? When are we gonna move past all that? You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like, people, we're free. I mean, the American people have freedom to a certain extent. But the freedom we do have, we need to exercise it and stop going against each other, especially among the African Americans.
Especially with the whole woman versus man.
Right.
I'm sorry, I can't compete with a man.
Right. Absolutely.
And you're my sister. I'm not going to compete with you.
Right.
But we have that mentality of it's a competition.
Always.
And crabs in a barrel. I'm going to tear you down instead of like help lift you up.
Right.
It's going to take, it's happening slowly, but it's not happening fast enough so we can move forward.
Right. Yeah. So it's up to my generation, especially. We got to wake up and we got to move. We got to move forward. We got to be positive, educated, and we just got to get out of the slave mentality mindset. I didn't live in 1891, 1930. I don't know what that's about. I heard the stories of my grandma from what my mama told me, but I didn't live in those times. You know what I mean? So why would I have that slave mentality? I don't believe in that. But anyway, enough about that. We're going to talk about you and your books. Yeah, so please share with us.
I am a third-time self-published author. My first two books are they're called Share My Pain and Bent Not Broken. They're on Amazon, and this one is my baby. I actually worked super hard on this. This is called Mystery Red Book 1. It's an adult erotica with a collection of like really nasty, disgusting stories.
Okay. And so what made you go that route?
Back many years ago, I used to have older friends because of my actual profession that I'm in. And we'll sit down and have girl talk, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like y'all need some spice. So the purpose of this, like writing it, was to help women be more sexually liberated. But as time goes by, and now, like, I'm pushing a book and I'm trying to get different people to read it. It's so amazing when guys are like, oh, I picked up the book and read. I'm like, guys, no offense, a lot of men don't read. But if they see, oh, okay, they're going to read. Right. I love when guys are like, I'm reading your book. I read this chapter. I read that chapter. And it's just so motivating to like, I'm getting people to read. Even though it's nasty stuff, I'm actually exercising your brain.
But I think that's because men want to know that insight about us. You know what I mean? In my generation, I was taught to act like a lady, close your mouth, close your legs, don't let nobody know, especially men, what you feel, your sexual fantasies, any of that.
Right. So I'm a Jamaican, right? Okay. I was born in Jamaica. I came here when I was 12. Okay. And my family totally disagrees with this book because, one, I'm showing skin. I'm showing sexuality. I am being, in their eyes, I'm being promiscuous. But it's like, I'm promoting a product. I'm promoting a book. And so I had I bumped a couple heads, ruffled a little feathers, but now everybody's like, okay, she's doing this for a reason. So it took some time.
Have you ever thought about taking it to OnlyFans? Like, what I mean is, like, maybe you can be the narrator.
So I am going, it's just my schedule is a little crazy right now, but I am going to do I created my OnlyFans strictly for that, to do story time with Mystery Red. I just haven't gotten a chance to get around doing it, but once I do, y'all will be the first ones to know.
Okay. I got a little background in that area myself. So, yeah. So a lot of times guys, they definitely want to explore and pick my brain and stuff. So I was once upon a time in the industry myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was in the industry. Not for long, but it's crazy. I went into the industry, the adult film industry, because I had a group of girls. We were called, oh my God, Buck Wild 22. That was the name of my company, Buck Wild 22. So we were a group of BBW girls who just went and would dance for men who liked BBW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so a lot of times those parties would be at my place, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then we would put it out on the internet, you know, shoot it to people emails and stuff like that, and we'll have this party, and certain men will come out to the party and they want to see the BBW women dance.
That's pretty interesting. Okay, all right.
So
okay.
one day we had this, somebody told this film director about us. And he came to my house, you know, and he watched what's going on. He kind of waited until the whole thing was over, and he introduced himself and said, well, I'm from the adult film industry. I would like to put all you women in the adult film industry. The girls was like, I don't know about that, Melody, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm the curious one, you know what I mean? So I said, I tell you what, guys, I'm going to go into the industry first. I'm going to tell you all the good things about it, and I'm going to tell you all the bad things about it. It'll be up to you guys then when I come back to tell, you know, I'm going to let you guys know everything. You make a decision whether you want to come into this industry or not. Right. So I did just that. It took me about 6 months. Okay. I came back and told the girls the good thing about it and the bad thing about it. Okay. And I told them, and I wanted the industry to get to know who I was. Okay. So when I bring these girls into the industry, you know, they will come through me, and then I'll be a little respected in that industry. So that's what happened. I came back. I told the girls, some girls wanted to go, some girls didn't want to go. So I took those girls in that wanted to go, you know, but I was kind of like their overseer, make sure they didn't get done wrong as far as money-wise, anything like that. If they didn't want to do something, I'll be the one to speak up for them and be like, oh, no, they don't, you know, such and such don't want to do that. No, I don't care how much money it is, she don't want to do it, right. You know. So my initial thing was to come in to learn the industry and maybe run my own company, you know. But it got to a point in the industry where, you know, black women were easy. You know, it was nothing to go around the corner and ask a black woman, do she want to make a little bit of money? You know what I mean? And they could get black women like that. So they start, the pay starts shriveling. I mean, shriveling to the point, I think back when I was doing it, it was in like 2007. I was making like $1,200 to $1,500 a shoot. That was pretty good money back then, you know. But it got to the point where we were making $300. They had to pay me. They would have to pay me. A lot of them had pimps back then. A lot of the pimps would push them into the adult film industry, and then they just started feeling used. You know, like, you know, what's this? I ain't got no money. My face is going to be everywhere, and right. I don't have no money. You know, and I started feeling bad as a black woman because I'm like, I'm not finna let them do my sisters like that. Right. If somebody do them like that, that's gonna be on them. It's not gonna be on me. So I kind of backed out of the industry. Okay. You know, I backed out of the industry because I didn't want my sisters, my black sisters, to think I was trying to pimp them or something, you know. And then they used to give me the title Madam, like the female film come, here come Madam. I didn't like that. This is the time Martha Stewart got in trouble. And she like, don't call me no Madam. You know what I mean? And that made me back out of it even more. And I just didn't like how they was treating the black women, you know. I didn't like that. Like they was just nothing. Like they wasn't worth nothing. And once you sign that paper, excuse me, I do apologize, you guys. Um, once you sign that paper, you have no uh nothing coming back to you. They pay you, they got all the rights, you know what I mean? You don't get no whatever it is that a lot of these companies, these artists get, they have none
They
of that.
wasn't getting any residuals.
Nothing.
And
Nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what, but I know what you're talking about. So I feel you on that. And a lot of women do need encouragement. I mean, they do need a little spice in their life. And let me tell you, women, if you don't get that man, as long as he's not being extreme, you don't give that man what he wants, guess what? He's gonna find somebody to do it. He may love you to death. And I mean that he may love you, but I'm just saying everybody has a fantasy. I as a woman have a fantasy, you know, our significant other has a fantasy. But if we're not bold enough to give that man his fantasy, and let me tell you, if that man walk off after you give him his fantasy, he was not meant for you in the beginning, period. So, but we do have to be a little open-minded women, and we gotta. I mean, we're human. I'm human. That man is human. He does have fantasies, and we gotta be open enough to do it. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you think about that?
So I do want to add, you can give a man all of that stuff. I wholeheartedly agree with you with saying you give that man his fantasies and then he just still do whatever because Lord
Yes.
knows, Lord knows.
Mhm.
But you just have to create a safe space for your partner, vice versa, where you could talk to him about your fantasies and he could talk to you about his fantasies without feeling judged.
Okay. Yes, absolutely.
Because if you're like, I don't want to do that, what?
So in your what's a safe space? So, how would you create a safe space?
So I'm gonna use my partner now, right?
Mhm.
We communicate effectively. And so he's like, oh, I want to try. He was like, oh, I want to try so and so. And I'm like, oh, I've never tried that.
Mhm.
Let's try it together. And when we do try, it's like, oh, I like that. Can we do more of that, please?
Mhm.
So it's just having that safe space. We have a safe space with each other emotionally,
Okay.
and with communication. So
Okay.
it's like I can be vulnerable and open with him, and vice versa.
Okay.
So that's a safe space for us. Like,
so you don't feel like he might get a taste of somebody else and just be like,
honestly,
I like her better.
Honestly, I'm gonna say this. Based on my experience in life, if with my partner now, right?
Mhm.
If he decides that he's going to go somewhere else,
Mhm.
that is on him because I know what type of woman I am.
Mhm.
I know I am secure in myself. I know I do everything that that a woman's supposed to do and some.
Mhm.
So if that's on him because I know for a fact you're not gonna get everything that I'm offering. You're not gonna get that anywhere else.
Okay.
I guarantee you that.
Mhm.
I know that for a fact.
Right.
And it's not to be cocky or conceited or anything like that. I just know what I do.
Mhm.
So I've had situations where somebody left and what they left me for didn't equate.
Right.
Because I'm gonna take care of home. Whatever the situation is, I'm gonna make sure you're fed mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So you leave, okay, bye.
Right.
So
yeah, definitely. What about have you ran across women who have a fantasy? And I know people, I don't even want to share my fantasy, not like this, but my partner didn't approve of my fantasy. But it's just something I always wanted to see,
I've
So,
come across women who have had fantasies that weren't able to express it with their spouse because of one culture, two, being judged. They just, I know a lot of women who end up stepping outside of the box. I mean, outside of home because their needs weren't met. And a lot of times for us, we're emotional creatures. So if he's not providing an emotional space for us, a safe emotional space, is we can do it, but we're not going to be emotionally attached or emotionally involved in the situation.
right. Absolutely.
And so we're going to go where this person is catering to our emotions over here, and because they're catering to our emotions, guess where we're going to go? We're going to go over here,
right,
and try it.
Right.
I trust me. I know somebody who did exactly that.
Wow.
Who left their marriage for that.
Well, my biggest thing, I think I could share it. I just often wonder, and this is out of curiosity, like, why are men gay? What is it that we're not doing as women that another man is doing to another man?
Ooh.
Yeah. So I think it's more of a curiosity for me. I want to see what intrigues another man to be with a man. Is it something we're not doing that we supposed to know?
I'm just as curious as you are, because I know why women go to women after they've been through some stuff. I know, I have homegirls who've done it, and I've asked different ones, but with the men, I honestly don't know. I don't know. And then the twisted part is when they go to a man, but this man has become a woman. It's like, I'm more confused on that. I'm so confused because you're with a man, but in their brain, logically, they got the sex change, so it's a woman.
Right.
But you don't want to be with a woman, but you're gay.
Right.
But you're with somebody who transformed into a woman.
Right. That's why I want to know. And I think the reason why women being gay is so acceptable is because women can express why they're doing what they're doing, what they've been through, and this is where they're at now. Whereas to me, men are a little bit more in the closet, and some are coming out, they was molested as a kid and stuff like that. Hey, situations like that, we understand. I get that part. But if you ain't never been in a situation like that, and a lot of them say they born like that, well, what do you mean? Like, explain. We need some explanations.
I just want to add to what you just said, though. I feel like if you think about it in the same space as a woman, I think some men go gay because they feel more understood, more heard, more comforted with another man than with a woman, because some of us, not all of us, as women, we are mean, we are nasty. They tell us their vulnerabilities.
We're negative, yes.
And we turn it and throw it in their face.
Yeah, we
or
do.
we just we are we can be emotional and express our feelings, but my man can't tell me how he feels, because that makes him less of a man to tell me how he feels.
Right.
And so they'll go to their homies and tell, like, man, this girl tripping, da 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 da, and their friends will actually listen.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, those men they weren't listened to properly. They weren't cared for properly. They weren't loved properly, wholeheartedly, with intentions, and instead of just like, gimme, what you could give me. Versus in a gay relationship, you see them on TV, you see them everywhere. It's reciprocated energy.
Yeah,
they love each other. They listen, they care, they give. And some of us in my time, the women right now are very horrible because they're all for self. They're not for their partners.
Right. That's so true. I can't even disagree with that, because that just reminds me of a conversation today that I had with my partner, and he felt like, at times I don't listen to him. I don't understand. And I understand when men talk among each other, they're bonding. That's their way bonding, whereas women, when we get together, we're more so venting. It's not that we trying to bond with you. It's just we can relate to what you saying, and girl, this is what happened, and blah blah blah. But I think when men uh, can talk to each other and they're listening, they create a bond.
They create that's creating a safe space where they
Yeah.
can talk about how they're really feeling without being judged, criticized, or like, oh, you're a man,
Yeah.
tough that shit up. Man, don't cry.
Right.
You have to. That's why I said, like, with me and my partner, we create that safe space. He
Right.
could come to me and tell me how he's feeling about his day without feeling like he's being judged or being it's going to turn in his face.
And I need to work on that. Maybe I'll have a show about relationship and bring my significant other on this show. And so, because it just because you've been in an adult film world and you've been in the adult entertainment doesn't make you an expert. You know what I mean? Like it does. I've seen a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have been exposed to. I've been exposed to a lot of stuff. So in my head, what I see is men, they want something, but we women want to feel like we're not just giving it to you for free. So we want compensation in return.
But it's always materialistic things, though. It's nothing
Yeah.
of substantial value.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no expert, people, no expert. But, with maturity, is
Right.
they want their nails done, their hair done, their feet done. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an example of me and my friends always talk about this, and I always like I don't understand how a man could say, a man could give you all that you want,
Right.
but when it comes to your needs, he's afraid. Why? Because he's so used to giving the money for the hair, the nails, the clothes, the shoes, the lashes, whatever, but time.
Right.
He doesn't know how to give you his time, his undivided attention, because those are things of substantial value. So and I always say that, like, it's so crazy how when they come across women who actually reciprocate and care about them, hey babe, how was your day? Don't want nothing of materialistic value, but they want stuff of substantial value.
Right.
They're like, I don't know, I'm scared, I'm afraid, because I've never been in here before. I've never been exposed to this before. So they're like, I don't know what to do with this girl because she's out here being a whole magical unicorn. Meanwhile, okay, let me put it in layman terms. She's out here being Ruth Chris and Maestros and filet mignon. I mean, offering you filet mignon and pork chops with applesauce and the bougie food. Meanwhile, you're always used to girls from McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that. They're gonna always run back to what they are used to, what they're comfortable with. And a lot of men, they're not used to being uncomfortable. So that's
interesting. So tell us about the other two books you have coming out.
The other two books that's out.
They're out now.
Yeah, the poetry books.
Uh-huh.
The poetry book, Sharing My Pain. I talked about some stuff that I went through as a kid and up to when I was adult, certain parts of my adulthood, and I'm literally sharing my pain. I'm a storyteller, so I was given spoken word of things that I experienced, my trauma. I was literally saying, here, this is me. I'm sharing my pain with you.
Right.
This is my story. I'm sharing my pain with you. Bent Not Broken. I was talking about another traumatic situation, and I was just using that to help me cope with what I was going through at the moment.
Wow. I wrote a similar book to that. My book is called I Didn't Ask for It.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't ask for this.
I need a copy of that.
Yeah, definitely. I should have brought it. Yeah, and it's basically some of the things that I went through as a child with my mother. Certain things I went through in relationship wise. What I thought was love was not really love. It was lust, and how that affected my life. I talked about depression, fighting depression, and basically I just want to end it all. And I think in the conclusion of my book, I basically said, if I can't write about you, or in order for me to write about you and to, it's called closed chapters. So basically, in order for me to move on, I have to write you, basically out of my life, because I won't be able to close that chapter.
Right. So let
Yeah.
me just add to that. And it's funny because like a while ago, me and Bandit had, that's my homie. We had a conversation, a similar conversation. And I was like, I could have went without this madness, right? And he's very wise beyond his age. And so he was like, if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't have been the person you are today because of what you went through. And I was like, damn it, you're right. Because I wouldn't be strong as I am. I wouldn't be fierce as I am because I went through whatever. With my book, Sharing My Pain, like I said, it talked about things that I went through as a kid. And that book caused a really big problem in my family. Like, and again, I'm Jamaican and my family is very conservative, regardless of what you see on this book cover.
Right.
My family is very conservative. My aunt is a pastor in Jamaica. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
So it's rough around here.
Yeah.
That book, I talked about things that I experienced with my mother as well. Things that I saw as a child with my mom and my dad fighting. And my mom got so upset at me. At one point, she stopped talking to me. Completely.
Same here.
And she said, my uncle, it was a big family situation. My uncle reached out to me and he said, why would you write about it? I said, that's part of my healing journey.
Right.
I had to write about it.
Understand that.
In order to heal and move on. I have a daughter. So I'm trying to make sure my daughter don't have none of the traumas that I went through.
Right. Absolutely. I agree.
And I'm breaking generational curses. So with breaking generational curses, I have to tell the story. I have to talk about, I saw chaos when I was growing up. I don't like chaos now. This is why I don't like chaos. And so she was so upset. But it's like, I have to write about, to me, I'm my dad's first child. I'm his only girl.
Okay.
His only blood daughter. So in my eye, my dad is an idol.
Right? I was the same way.
Here's the problem with that. I also witnessed my dad being abusive towards my mom. Okay. So I was like, I'm a daddy's girl all the way. But at the same time, daddy was hurting mommy. Right. And my mom didn't. In that book, I talked about how he broke her arm and she lied and said she hit it on the door. And I saw it back in the day. And she told me I shouldn't have wrote about that, but that's my trauma, Mom. I saw what he did. Yeah. And I get that. Like I said, I'm Jamaican, so
my mom stopped speaking to me. Actually, my mom hasn't. I wrote the book in, I want to say, let's see, we in 24. I bought the book out in 2022. My mother didn't speak to me all last year behind that book. She hasn't spoken to me, period. But I'm gonna give her a Mother's Day gift because at the end of the day, I have to realize that is my mother. No matter if she's not speaking to me or not, that is my trauma. She is old school. So, when they old school, they don't believe in putting their business out. You putting their business out.
Right, I did. Yeah. So for me, I think it was 2022, I had to cut my mom off. Yeah. Completely.
That's hurtful, isn't it?
It's very hurtful because Lord, we having a therapy session. So part of my trauma that I experienced was, I'm going to just break this down. My mom was in love with my dad, but they had a very toxic relationship. Okay. And them having a toxic relationship, even when he died, my mom still carried a lot of that hate and resentment. Okay. And she, who looked like their dad? Who's, was their dad's, I was my daddy's girl. So when he died, she took a lot of that frustration out on me. On you. A lot of it out on me. And it carried on for years. And all I wanted was my mother's love. Right. But instead I got like a big sister who's beefing with me all the time. Yeah. And so my grandmother, her mom was the one who I recognized as my mom, even since I was a kid.
Right.
Because my parents had me young.
Mm-hmm.
So for so long, I just wanted my mother's love. I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
And even when I became before I became an adult, I would tell myself, when I have kids, I will not treat my kids like this.
Right.
I will not cause division between my children.
I
won't do favoritism.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I won't do the things that I experienced, the things that cause me pain. I won't do that to my children because I know how it feels firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
To when I turned 18, and since 18 to 2022, I don't remember what year I was 18. I think 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. To up until 2022, I just wanted my mother's love.
Yeah,
I put myself through school, even though, whatever the case may be, my success is based off of me pushing myself.
Right.
Because my mom was looking at it as a competition.
Right.
She wasn't like, there's an incident. When I was 18, I got engaged, right? And I came to California. I was living in Boston. I came in California. I got engaged, and I went back home to Boston. That's because I was 18. I thought I knew everything. And instead of my mom saying, "Oh, don't get married yet, wait, finish school, put yourself first," it was greeted with negativity.
Right.
She literally said, "I'll bullshit you now." She was like, "Oh, you think you're better than me because a man put a ring on your finger."
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot of hate. A lot of
resentment.
A lot of hate, a lot of resentment. When my grandmother died in 2018, I was going through a really bad time. And my grandmother, that was my ace.
Right.
She died in Jamaica. And when she died in Jamaica, it was hard. Like, even to this day, like when me and my cousins talk about it, my cousin was like, between me and my dad to call you, we couldn't make that phone call. Yeah. We couldn't. And so my mom, my beautiful, amazing mom, she got the phone call and she was like, she told me, but she told me in a fucked up way. "Oh, my mother died because of you." Oh, so she blamed me for my grandmother's death. And even though I don't carry it because I know my grandmother was in pain, I'm not responsible for that. Right. But she blamed me. And that was 2018. And like, she told in that moment, again, I was going through some personal stuff, whatever. And what did she do? It was so fun, amazing. She, I've been blessed and fortunate to have older women who've been in my life, who taught me, things here and there. I look at them as my aunts, my guardian angel. God just aligned me with these people to grow, even if it's for a short moment. I was blessed to meet these ladies. Right. And she said, these are not your family members. I'm the only family member. I'm your only mom. But these women were kind to me. Right. And they didn't know that this is the stuff I went through personally. But I was just, as I grow, I was like, damn, man, like, I'm grateful that God put these women in my life to teach me things that my mother did not teach me. And so, like, 2022, at the end of 2022, we had a big family situation. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. Because 2022, we kept it was like over me being on her cell phone plan. It was we stopped talking for like 2-3 months. Then it was about my book. When I first came out with the Share My Pain, because I changed the cover like a few months after or whatever. She read it and she was like, in Patois, she was like, "Oh, you're a wicked, wicked gal." And that was it. And she chuckled. That was back then. Now she reread it again because, let me tell you, she asked me, she said, "Oh, my daughter, the big time author, I need copies of your book so I can, show people." And when she got Share My Pain again, the revised version, just the cover, she's upset now, and she acts like she never seen the book, never read the book. "Oh, you have this out here, you have it for people to read," and and we were just kept going back and forth. And then at the end of 2022, she literally, like, she brought up back the whole situation with my grandmother. And I said, you know what? She flipped the story and made it seem like I was just this mean, nasty, disrespectful child. And she flipped the story and said, at the time she was living with me. She was living with me. My kids I try to raise my kids a certain way.
Right.
I don't want them to see trauma. I don't want them to expose them to no bullshit.
Right.
And she just was, and I told her, like, when I went to visit her a few years before, I said, she had snatched my little brother up. And I said, you know, I don't allow my children to see certain things.
Yeah.
So when she came into my home, she weren't snatching anybody up, but she was verbally abusive. She was emotionally abusive. And she was just really, you know, she's a piece of work. I love her to death. And so she brought up the situation and she told everybody a different version of the story. She said, when her mother died, I kicked her out of my house to make her homeless. No, that's not what happened. And so she brought that back up and I was like, you know what? I'm completely done. And then like a couple of weeks later, she just kept going because she's with my brother.
Right.
She kept going and they involved me in a conversation. His wife was, you know, involved with me in a conversation. And they put me on speakerphone and I'm like, hey, you gotta chill out, you know, da-da-da-da. And she told my baby brother, hang up the phone, she's not part of this family. And my brother was like, no, whatever state no matter what state she's in, she's part of this family. If we're having a family conversation, she's gonna be part of this. And she was just, I said, you know what, I'm done, I'm okay. I don't need that relationship. Right. Because you're hurting me. And I've said this to her so many times, but it's not received. Yeah. It's not received. Yeah. And so like I was blessed again to have she used to be my mother-in-law. She's been my second mom. I call her my second mom since I was 18 years old. Okay. So she knows my triggers. She knows, okay, I'm gonna back off. She doesn't attack me. She comforts me. She talks to me. Right. So I've been blessed to have. That's good. To have aunties and to have so many different moms in my life. Right. Because the one that birthed me. Yeah. Caused me like a whole bunch of trouble. Yeah. A whole bunch. Yeah. And I bullshit you not, since I cut her off, and y'all could disagree with me, but since I cut her off since 2022, when she did that situation in December of 2022, I kid you not, Melody, I was in so much pain that I couldn't even move. I was hurting. Yeah, from being angry, from you know, her retriggering me with, you know, blaming my grandmother's death on me. All this stuff. When I say I couldn't move, my body was in so much pain. I was heavy with pain. And I was like, you know what, God, I'm sorry, but this is it. I bullshit you not, since then till now, I haven't had any pain like that. I haven't been triggered like that. Yeah. I don't want to be like, you know what, I'm free now. I'm free. Yeah. And it took some time. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of crying because I just wanted my mom. Right. Because I don't have a dad. My dad died. Right. I need my only parent that's present, but my only parent is like, pour some salt, pour some bleach, pour vinegar, hit you with a car a couple times, you know, and it should be fine. Okay. You know what I say to that, you know, now, even though I'm going through a lot with my mother and we're not on speaking terms or not, what made me just come to, you know, just having peace, I said, you know, my mom basically don't want to admit for the things that she has done to me. But in the end, when she goes beyond this world, she's going to have to answer to someone for what she did. You know what I mean? So then that's when I began to have peace. Okay, she may not want to admit to what she did to me and how bad it hurt me, you know, but she's still going to have to answer to someone once she leaves this world. You know what I mean? True. And that's what kind of gave me peace and able to go on. So on top of the things she did to me, when she lived with me, there was a couple episodes where she showed her colors towards my kids. Right. We not about to do that. Yeah. We not about to do that. We not about to do that. Right. And there was an incident where she did it with my daughter, and I said, baby, the devil is a lie. Because what you're not, I'm not. And she got so upset at me because I didn't allow her to do the favoritism thing between my kids. Right. Yeah. You're not about to do that. Oh no. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah,
You,
absolutely.
you, as I respect you as my mother, but when it comes to my children that I gave birth to, you're not about to play with me.
Right.
You're not about to play with me.
That's
I don't care who it is. I will hurt you before you hurt me. You play my kids one time. Trust and believe.
Okay.
They mama ride at dawn.
Well, okay. I mean, man, we got to come back and talk more in depth about it. Maybe get a couple of women together and just, talk about it because, I'm just amazed that you've been through similar traumas that I've been through with my mother. You think that you're the only one out there in the world that's going through, but believe it or not, there's people that can relate to you. But before you leave, please give everybody your social media where they can find your book. And
okay, so I only have one social media that is open, and that is my B&J Publishing on B&J underscore publishing. That's on Instagram. That's all. That's it. That is it. You can find my books on Amazon, and you can find them when there's an event. I'm present. I'm selling my books. I have books that's interactive, where it shows behind the scenes pictures and videos of the photo shoots. And this is just a basic regular one. But I have one that's interactive, and then the one that's on Amazon as well.
Great. So we are definitely gonna have Miss Petrena. What's your little narrative name?
Mystery Red.
Okay, Mystery Red. So we're gonna bring Mystery Red back. We're gonna have some talk. We're gonna do a day of just women talk. We're gonna talk about our mothers, our relationship. We're gonna cry. We're gonna laugh. Like, girl, give me a moment. We're gonna go through all that. So, definitely, I would love to have you back.
You.
Yes, because this is really deep, and people are scared to talk about stuff like that. But here on the Wiggin' Out Show, we're not scared. We're going to put it out there and know that you guys can relate. And if you guys have any questions, concerns, anything that you would like me or Petrena to address when we come back again, please DM me on Instagram. That's underscore Wiggin' Out, WIGGINN. No, I'm sorry. Underscore WIGGINOUT radio underscore melody like a song MELODYALLEN underscore. So it was such a pleasure having you. And I enjoy it. And please come back.
A whole
also happy
session.
Yes, and definitely have a happy Mother's Day.
Likewise. Thank
you so much.
I am honored.
Thank you. And this is Melody with Wiggin' Out Radio, you guys. We out. Peace and love.
I be wigging out. I be wigging out.
Hey, this is Melody Photographer, the Cali Queen from the LB Alert. We are here making moves like you never seen. Turn up, we on the way to the party scene.
Wiggin' out on all the haters who be watching me. They be angry, they don't get into the broccoli. Plus they know when I'ma go get it, there ain't no stopping me. Running from 3 when no really about it, ain't no stopping me, honestly.
I be wigging out. I be wigging out.
I've been wigging out for a minute. I'm dedicated for this chicken. I'm fucking on all these bitches. I ain't worrying about none of these niggas. Shoot a gang, gon' hit them. Baby ass looking right, so you know I'm finna hit it, huh?